Rose Petals, welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to my channel, Rose Between Pages. Rosie here. Welcome to my May and June wrap up. I've got an ambience on in the background. Also on video call with my best friend Maddie. But anyway, I've got like 5 books not to show you because 3 of these I don't own. 2 of them I do own. But we're going to talk about them. So in May, I read 2 books and I read a total of 742 pages. And I completed 2 challenges, which was a book out of your comfort zone and an author with M in the name. First, we're going to talk about Avenging Sun. Avenging Sun by Guy Haley. This is the first in the Adorn of Fire novel series. And I gave this a 3-star. Because basically this was like setting you up for the rest of the series, so introducing you to the main characters and stuff, and some side characters that are important as well. So at first it was very confusing with all the point of views, but I was slowly but surely getting used to it. Like, there was more than 7, and I'm used to like 7 point of views, but you know, enjoyed learning about this different world and all the different characters. It was very interesting, and this is way out of my comfort zone, so this was the book for out of my comfort zone. But I'm very happy that I have Josh, because without him I wouldn't be branching out with my genres, and I wouldn't be exploring Warhammer, so I have him to thank for this. It did take me a while to finally get used to the multiple point of views and the pacing of this book. It was basically introducing the characters and explaining why they're so important to this world and what they do. So, setting you up for the rest of the series, and it was very tense and interesting. Really got in the groove with the characters and writing style. This was quite a lot of information to take in, so I ended up having a break after this book, because in my tiny little brain I wouldn't be able to go on with the rest of the series straight away. So that was my first book in May. My second book I DNF'd. That was The Deep by Alma Katsu. And I DNF'd it after like a day of reading it. I tried giving it a chance though, because the thing is, the premise of this sounded really interesting. It was about the Titanic, but with a twist. It was supposed to be like a horror sort of thriller version of the Titanic, but it was really disappointing. I was so fed up with this. Like, I'll just read this out. So, like, the only thing that stood out to me was, like, there was a seance that happened. That was a bit spooky. Like, someone died and a dead man has come back to life. I did like how he kept going back and forth between the ships. So, like, 1912 was the Titanic and then 1916 was the Britannic. On the Titanic, one of the stewardesses nearly got drowned by a bloody pregnant lady. The Britannic, Annie met someone she believed to be dead, but he wanted nothing to do with her because, like, he thought his past was very painful. But I did DNF this because, like I say, it was the premise of this, and the blurb caught me because it said Titanic with a twist, basically. And I thought it'd be a lot more scary, a lot more grotesque. And I was waiting for the horror aspect, but the only horror aspect was the seance and the fact that there was ghosts haunting the ship. The majority of it was just drama. I don't like that in horrors. If you're gonna write a horror thriller with drama in it, then make it interesting. Make it gory, make it grotesque, make it eerie, make it spooky, make it creepy as fuck. No, none of that. It was just really dramatic, so I was very, very disappointed in that book. Let's go on to June. My favourite of May was Avenging Sun. So I put that down. And then in May I read 3 not May. In June, I read 3 books. I read a total of 1,144 pages, and I completed 2 out of 4 challenges. So, set in another country and a favourite genre. So, two of these I don't own. One of them I do. I think I also started Legends and Lattes. Where have I put that? That's down here. I started Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I started rereading The Starless Sea, and I started reading Clown in a Cornfield. So I was reading 3 books, but at the near the end of June, I had a mental health episode, and I couldn't focus on all 3 books, so I decided to soft DNF them. I will go back to them. When I soft DNF books, that means I will go back to them, because I was enjoying all 3 of them. It's just my brain wasn't able to focus on all 3 of the books, and I just couldn't really focus on any of them. Let's start with the one that I physically own, and that is The Gate of Bones by Andy Clark. This is the 2nd book in the Dawn of Fire series. This was a 4.5, because this was a lot better than the first one. It got you more involved, got your emotions involved. I loved this book. It was a lot more gripping and interesting than the first book. I was actually excited to read more of this book, and that's a first for me with a Warhammer series. This is my first Warhammer 40k series. I have read a Warhammer series before, which was Malice Darkblade, The Chronicles of Malice Darkblade. I read Volume 1 and I read Volume 2. But I had to read it with my glasses because the text was very small. But with this one, the blurb is very small, but the inside isn't too bad, actually. I can read that font. Every time I put this book down, I kept thinking about it and wanting to read more and figure out what was going on next, what would happen. Kept me hooked. This was action-packed, full of gory battles and very tense between characters. I loved that in the middle of a battle, it kept switching between the Space Marines, which was custodians, and the Chaos Marines. Chaos Marines are basically Marines who have been corrupted and possessed by demons, as demons in this world. There was also I remember there was metallic aliens in this. I thought that was really cool. That there was metallic aliens. It gripped me and made me feel really upset. I actually fucking sobbed. One of my favourite characters died in this. I full on cried because of this. It was going to be a 4 stars, but I bumped it up due to one of my favourite characters dying, and finding out that a character that I thought fucking died had actually survived. I was really, really happy that this certain character had survived. So, that's the only book of June that I own, physically. Then, on my Kindle, I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This was 3.5 stars. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but, it was gripping and beautiful and poetic. The main 7 characters, aka East House 7, were lovable. I didn't actually realise this was in the dark academia genre, as well as being a thriller. It was also a little bit spicy. This book was a little bit spicy, not gonna lie. And I was very interested as to how the rest of the story was going, but this book was too long for me. It could have been shorter. It dragged it out too long for me. I vlogged my experience, which you've probably seen by now. I was constantly doing reading updates, wanted to keep constantly talking about this book, one vlog clip after another. like at 75%, I actually ended up getting really fucking annoyed with how long this book felt at one point. Just wanted to know who the fuck the killer was, because I guessed it quite a while back. Like, I guessed it quite a while back. Like, I was like, oh, it's this person. And I also guessed who was dead as well. Just a random guess. But yeah, it was drawn out a lot longer than I would have liked. But it did keep me hooked the majority of it. And then, get this, I read a graphic novel called Bad Magic by Derek Landy. This was part of the Skullduggery series. Skullduggery Pleasant series, but you can read this as a standalone, which is what I did. And it's made me want to read the Skullduggery Pleasant series, which I used to read in in primary school and high school. But I really enjoyed the short graphic novel. Like, it's been a fucking while since I've read a graphic novel or a manga, because the last time I actually read a graphic novel or a manga or a comic was when I was in high school doing exams. So, a very long time ago. It's like nearly 10 years ago. So, I'm glad I picked this up. I decided to take a chance on a graphic novel, and I didn't regret picking this one. The art style and the characters were very lovable. Like, I loved how there was, like, a magical skeleton and how his friend was a psychic with magical powers. So, I really enjoyed that. Editing Rosie here. Sorry I didn't mention what my favourite of June was. My favourite of June was Gate of Bones. So it was Avenging Sun versus Gate of Bones. And Gate of Bones won by 1.5 stars. Let's do an update on what's happening right now. I'm working on a few videos actually. I'm working on a recent reads video which will be out as soon as I finish the book that I'm currently reading, which is High Stakes by Danielle Steele. I'm also working on a reading vlog surrounding 3 different books, like completely different genres, and 3 different authors that I've not read from. And then I'm also working on a 24-hour readathon vlog as well. So yeah, busy. And then I've got ideas as to what I want to do next for you guys. So keep updated with my channel by subscribing and liking the videos and stuff. And don't forget to comment. Thank you so much. Right, that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Comment below if you've read any of these books, and leave a skull emoji for the Skullduggery Pleasant series. And I shall see you guys in the next video, or live for that matter. Stay luscious, guys. Bye!